There was a researcher at the Yale University in the 1940s, and he was studying the electromagnetic field around organisms. He wants to understand the unseen field living on living organisms. So he starts studying all type of eggs, and he used a magnetometer. And what he found was 100% of the time, no matter what eggs he measured, the positive charge was always at the top of the egg, and the negative charge was always at the tail of the egg. So, what does that mean to us as a human? It means that you have an external field, and that is called magnetic field. What happens is, to every human being, every thought that we think of has a frequency, and every thought produces a chemical. Once you think a thought, in milliseconds, your brain, your body produces the chemistry, the hormone, or the chemical. So if you keep obsessing about your sickness, you're not enough, your lack, your specific thought about lack, about sick, about anything that is negative, not enough, I'm not enough. In the Western world, we have an epidemic of not enough. I am not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not old enough. I'm not young enough. I'm not skinny enough. I'm not pretty enough. Just not enough. I don't have enough. So when you think of that thought, what kind of chemicals are you feeding your body? You're taking the thought and it is producing a frequency. And that frequency is in the form of chemistry, and it is storing that thought emotionally right in your body. You feel guilty. The moment you feel guilty, you feel unhappy. And then you generate more thought about I'm not happy, and your brain will try to look for evidence why you're not happy, why you are in lack, why. And when you generate more of that thought, and that equal to that feeling, which make more chemical, and it keep you taking that energy from the brain and storing into the body. That is a lot of chemicals storing inside the body. And the problem with most people is the first thing they wake up in the morning, they start thinking about their problem. So the more you think about your problem, the more unhappy you are. And when you think about that thought, it creates the chemistry, and that chemistry will store inside the body. And that is where trauma come in. There's a lot of energy that's stored inside the body. Now, life is an experiment. We can prepare our mind before the event actually happens. And many people know that intellectually, but they don't practice it. Your personality creates your reality. How you think, how you feel, and how you act. So why don't we begin to think differently? Remind ourselves how we want to think. Remind ourselves how we no longer want to think, so we don't default ourselves to go unconsciously into the negative thought, the negative behavior that don't serve you anymore. Let me remind myself how I want to behave to match my intentions and how I want to feel. It is a practice. Many people say, yep, I know it once. No, you don't know it once. You have to study it. You have to practice it again and again until your body actually say, I know it. Now, to a lot of people, they say that's very confusing. For example, I read a book once, I understand the book, and I'm done. No, you don't really know it. So studying is about studying again and again until your body actually get it. And so, which means we have to keep practicing it. A lot of people tell me that, you know what, those positive affirmations doesn't work. Of course it doesn't work if you're just reading it once, twice, 3 times, or even 30 days But if you don't give a feeling into reading those sentences, or your body actually get it, it means nothing. So our job is to keep practicing. We have to keep practicing. Many people ask me, do you react nowadays? You know what? That is a very interesting question. For many years, I thought if I study so long, I should no longer reacting. But one thing we need to know, we all react. We all react to situations. We were meant to react to situations. We were born like that. It's in our genetic, our DNA. But the question is, how long? How long am I going to react? How long are you going to react? If you are in emotional state, you will see life through that emotional perception, that emotional lenses. The stronger emotion you feel on a person or situation, you pay attention is our body has been conditioned in a certain way. The question is, do you want to stay there? Do you want to stay there? People say they don't have control over their emotional state. Well, I say train your body like training your animal, like training your pet, to stop feeling that way that no longer serve you and start feeling another way. So we are no longer defined by our past. Emotions are a record of your past. And so if you're feeling that emotions, your body is believing that it is going back in the past and experience the same experience in the past. So the more understanding and knowledge that we have, justify that those emotions are not hurting anyone but yourself. And the long-term effect of living in those emotional state, those survival state, are down regulating our genes and creating diseases in the long term. So eventually you have to ask, is this really loving to myself? Is this really loving to myself? Ask yourself today,